Yeah, I already started the meeting. Now I can't change the pad. Okay. I can right, that's good. Okay. So good morning to you all. Harini, net out like sir. Good morning. Struggling. Good morning to you all. Hope I am audible to all of you. I hope I am audible. Okay. Now, today we need to look at the type of organic compounds we encounter. We have already seen what are organic compounds. Now, hydrocarbons are compounds compounds which have only carbon and hydrogen are hydrocarbons. Obviously, if you look at methane, it is a hydrocarbon. Ethylene, this is a gas that is responsible for ripening the fruits, is a hydrocarbon. Acetylene, formula C2H2, it is a gas used for welding, joining to iron rods, etc., is a hydrocarbon. Benzene, which can be represented like this, double bond, single bond, double bond, single bond, double bond. The formula of this compound is C6H6. It is a pleasant smelling liquid. It is also a hydrocarbon. Name of this is benzene. Name of this is acetylene. Name of this is methane. It is the gas that is coming from the grass-eating animals like buffaloes, cows. When they release gas, they release methane. Ethylene is used for ripening the fruits. Naturally, it is produced in plants to ripen the fruits. All these are hydrocarbons. Now, if I look at glucose, C6H12O6, glucose is not a hydrocarbon because it has oxygen. Urea, which is there in your urine, is not a hydrocarbon because it has nitrogens and oxygen also. Now we are studying only about hydrocarbons at the point of time. Whenever we are talking of organic chemistry, you are talking about methane, say. You are talking about ethylene, say. There will be a question like, why this carbon is bound to hydrogens? Why only to 4 hydrogens in this case? Why here 2 carbons are bound to 4 hydrogens? Why there is a pattern? Why the carbon atoms and hydrogen atoms should combine, first of all? For that matter, why any 2 atoms should combine? Why any two persons should live together? For example, why you should live with your father and mother? Why anybody should live with his parents or with his wife or with her husband or so on? People are living together because individually people are unstable. When they make groups, when they are living together in groups, they get stability, they get security, they get comfort. When people are living all alone individually, they are highly unstable. People are highly unstable because of security problems, because of fear, because of many other things. Now, if you look at a family, when the father, when the mother, when the son all are living together, father is earning money. After working in office, he comes to home and takes rest. More than that, he do nothing. Mother takes care of household activities like cooking and all. All the three will share the food. The child will go on is studying or whatever. So everybody is comfortable. Everybody got stability. Individually, if you separate father and mother and the son, father has to earn the money, cook his food, and also take all household activities. If mother has no income, she can't buy her food and she will be struggling. The child, he can neither earn money nor he can cook the food, so he will die. When all are living together, they get stability. And now the father loves mother, there is an attraction. And both of them love the child. The force of attraction that operates between family members is called family bond. Similarly, the force of attraction, I'm not able to write properly. Okay. The attractive force, I'm not able to write. ये तीसरा एक ना attractive force, wait, just wait. అన్ని తీసుకెళ్ళా నేను నా అక్కడ ఛార్జింగ్ పెట్టి ఆడాను కావట్లా. It's getting disturbed. Just wait. Hello, master. Class on. I'm sorry for the interruption. Sir, now I have set everything. Now we can write clearly. Yep. Yes, sir. Therefore, attractive force operating between chemical entities means atoms, ions, molecules, that can be anything, is chemical bond. Always bond formation releases energy. Anything that releases energy is called exothermic. We represent by saying delta H is negative and provides stability. Okay. So individual atoms don't have stability. They try to get stability by living together. A group of atoms is called molecule. Like a group of individuals is called family. Between family members, like wife and husband and the children, there are strong attractive forces. If somebody kicks the child, father gets heart attack. Yes, because the attraction is so strong. If somebody insults your mother, you get strongly irritated. You don't hesitate to take extreme steps because the love towards your mother is tremendous in your heart. You can't imagine, you can't accept it. Because of this love and affection, family gets stability and they live together. Sometimes there are some attractions between one family and the next family. Both are neighbors. There are, of course. And these attractions existing between different families are something called secondary bonds. For example, in water molecule, there are attractions between hydrogen atoms and oxygen atoms. This is one molecule. This is another water molecule. Between these two water molecules, there can be some attraction. These attractive forces are so strong between water molecules. All the water molecules try to exist together. Millions of water molecules try to exist together, and that is called liquid water. If you are looking at the glucose, millions of glucose water molecules exist together. The attractive force between glucose molecules is so strong that they try to attract each other remaining in fixed positions. That makes it a solid. Therefore, when individual atoms combine, you get a molecule. Within a molecule, there are some type of strong bonds. They are called either ionic bonds or covalent bonds. These are like attractive forces between members of a family. Now, between different families, like between different methane molecules, there can be some attractions. The attractions between different molecules are called secondary bonds. Based on the secondary bonds, if they are very weak, that is a gas. If the secondary bonds are somewhat strong, that's a liquid. If the secondary bonds are very, very strong, it is a solid, yet room temperature. However, by providing heat energy, by heating a solid, you are trying to overcome the secondary attractions. When a solid is heated, the attractions between the solid molecules get weakened. It can become liquid. If you further heat it, you are providing more heat energy, means even the secondary bonds between liquid molecules can also be weakened. It can become gas. In gas, attractions between molecules are very weak. I am not worried about attractions of the molecules at this point of time. In fact, if a material is a solid, you can understand attractions between molecules are very strong. The higher is the melting point of solid, you can understand stronger or secondary bonds. Similarly, the melting point and boiling point are index for the strength of secondary bonds. You know, diamond is a solid with a high melting point. The secondary bonds are very, very, very strong if they are. In fact, diamond is a strange solid. It has no secondary bonds. It has only primary bonds. All primary bonds are continuously existing between millions of atoms. Normally in methane, it is a simple molecule, it is a simple molecule, it is a simple molecule. Even water is simple, simple molecules. Simple, simple molecules have secondary bonds. Sometimes in diamond, as you see, it is a special case. The carbon is locked to 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 carbon is locked to. Oh, in a haphazard way. In a haphazard way, carbons are locked and locked and locked. So infinite number of primary bonds make the infinite number of carbons tightly held to each other so that it would be very difficult to melt diamond. Such very strange fellows are called as polymeric covalent networks. Polymeric covalent networks. Here, there is no question of secondary bond, all are primary bonds only. I have a friend. He is having 4 wives. And with every wife, he has 2, 3 children. And all these wives and all the children are together. It is my surprise. He had convent schools. He has schools in his town. For 4 different schools, his 4 wives are principals. He is chairman. So that fellow is moving around. And all the members of all the wives, all the children, I got surprised. I can't imagine. And all are well settled. Some are in Australia, some are in Netherlands, some are in America, some are in Japan. Only one fellow is there in Hyderabad. He is a chartered accountant. It's very strange. Normally, you can't encounter a person having 4 wives, and that too, all the wives with good relationship, their children with excellent relationship. It is only theory. But in my life, I have seen one such man. His family photo, he is such a big group photo. I was wonderstruck. So diamonds are rare. Polymeric covalent networks are rare. But in all other cases, simple molecules are held together. That's a different story. Now I am looking at what are primary bonds. Now the idea, if I am looking at helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, and radon, these are called noble gases. Normally, we are ordinary human beings. You can't live alone. You feel like getting yourself married after some time when you get a decent job and you start earning when your age is mature. You feel like marrying a beautiful lady of your choice and you try to live and produce children because you know that you are not stable as an individual. But there are so many fakirs who are very great. The fakirs live alone, don't get married generally. They keep on moving and telling you good words from Quran. You might have seen fakirs. They are always happy and joyful. A real fakir will not demand money from you. Yeah, he is more philosophical. They are noble people. They don't require particular stability by marrying somebody. They are stable individually. So noble gases are stable individually. And scientists have worked out why they are stable. They discovered that all the noble gases like neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon, they have 8 electrons in the outer level. In the atom, outermost valence shell, they have 8 electrons. So they made a theory that if anybody is trying to get 8 electrons, anybody gets 8 electrons in the outer level, that fellow gets stability. This is called octet rule. The helium is an exceptional noble gas that has only 2 electrons in the valence shell. This is called a doublet. Therefore, hydrogen tries to get 2 electrons like helium. Hydrogen originally has 1 electron. It tries to get 1 extra electron in order to get a configuration like helium. So scientists have worked out that atoms tend to get stability by utilizing their valence electrons. By doing any magic or by interaction with other atoms, they get 8 electrons like noble gases. When they get 8 electrons like a noble gas, they get stability. Like you try to get stability, how? Getting yourself married, producing 1 or 2 or 3 children, constructing your own house, making your money saving in the bank. If you do all these things, you say you are stable. You have settled. So that similarly, atoms tend to get stability by getting 8 electrons. How to get 8 electrons is a problem. In valence shell outer level, they should get 8 electrons. Now, if I am looking at sodium, it has electrons like first level 2 electrons, second level 8 electron, third level 1 electron. I write 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. And if I look at chlorine, it has 2, 8, 7 electrons. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. So the valence level of chlorine is third level and valence level of sodium is also third level. In order to get 8 electrons, sodium has 2 options. Option number 1, gain 7 electrons. Option number 2, lose 1 electron. Which is easier? Losing 1 electron. For chlorine also 2 options. What are the options for chlorine? Gain 1 electron or lose 7 electrons. If it loses all the 7, then it will have 8. If it gains 1, again it will have 8. If it gains 7, it gets 8. If it loses 1, again it is left with 8. These are the options. Now sodium easily loses 1 electron, chlorine gains 1 electron. When they